everyone, and welcome to Two-Player Quest, where I help you on your quest to find the best two-player board games for you. In today's video, we have Kinfire Chronicles, Night's Fall by Incredible Dream. In Kinfire, you play as a group of seekers who sets out to bring the Kinfire to the world full of starless nights. You adventure, battle creatures, and try to save the world by bringing it the Kinfire it needs. But how many seekers do you need to make this an interesting game? Let's find out. Kinfire is a game for 1 to 4 players that plays in 45 to 60 minutes per quest. There's a total of 21 quests in the box, so do the math. It is a 2.79 complexity on Board Game Geek, so it's relatively easy to possibly slightly medium complexity, and it's a medium luck kind of game. It depends on the chits that are drawn, who goes when, and the cards you have in your hand if you need the fences and you don't have the fences. That doesn't make it very easy. This is what the start of a two-player game can look like. At the top we have one of the players with their current hands, the rest of the deck, their special ability and their armor. We have some extra information over there that's from our current run through. We have our current boss, the board set up with all the statuses, the board set up with our characters, and the extra information you need. Now down here we have our current deck, our current hero, and over here we have the book. Now the book will tell you the story, tells you where to go, and then tells you what to set up, when and where, and it gives you all the information you need. Now, in combat, we have an enemy here, the Wyvern. We have the enemy's information, what they do when, and our characters. Now, at the start of every turn, you start by drawing a chit out of the bag. So you just draw one of the chits, and if it is a coloured chit, it is one of the players. So in this case, it is the opposite player's turn, and they can do an action. To make it easy for this explanation, I'm going to quickly grab out this player's chit and show you with their hand what you can do. There are different types of cards you can have in your hands. You can have actions, there are also wards, and you can have boost cards. And you can also see there is a difference in colours for all the cards. Now, if it is your turn, you can do one action, and you can do one movement on the board. Some things also have 3 actions on them. So that's what this player is doing, playing a ward, and then they are playing the Bolt of Confusion, which is 2 damage at range and gives a trapped to an enemy. Now the other player may boost the current player's action by playing a boost card in the same colour. So they decide to play this boost card, which gives this player the ability to draw or discard a card from their hand. But boosts can also be extra damage, or sometimes it can be extra defences if necessary when being attacked. In this case, this character moves 1 step towards the Wyvern, does an attack 2 on the Wyvern. So you would take the Wyvern and put it down to 28 in this case, and draw an extra card into their hand because that was the boost that they got. Then the next chit is drawn from the bag, and you continue on until either the heroes, so both seekers, are dead, or until the enemy is dead, and then you continue on what it says in the story. Now, you also have chits with a number on them. That is the enemy attacks. Chit number 12 corresponds with the token number 12, so it does the bottom action, which in this case, it discards all statuses and moves directly to the target's space. Once you've done that, you turn around this token to show that the action has been done. We'll move to the correct space and place the token in the spent chits area. The book will tell you what happens. For example, this at the bottom it says the quest is over and you can continue on to quest 2. While adventuring, sometimes you'll be asked to choose in a conundrum, and sometimes after your adventure you will be able to go to a town. This, for example, is Vinna. Now, in town you have several actions that you can do. The book will tell you how many actions you can do, what happens, etc, etc. And from there you pick one of the other quests to do and start your quest. Learning how to play this game and starting with a setup can be done quite quickly. It probably takes you about 5 to 10 minutes and then maybe about 5 minutes to get to know your seeker, what they do, choose what they want, etc, etc. Now, this game has basically divided everything up into 4 books. You start with the getting started book, and then in the first box you get the combat book, which is combat. Then in the second box you get the adventuring book, and then in the third box, you get the town exploration book. So you get to learn the rules slowly but gradually, but they are in general very simple rules, and every time you need to read a book it might take you about 5 minutes every time, but it's really not complex. If you're looking for a simpler adventure campaign or combat, sort of, it's not necessarily dungeon delving, but combat kind of game, then I think this is an excellent fit. And I'm saying simpler because I can vaguely compare this to things like Frosthaven, and this is a whole lot simpler than something like Frosthaven, because the combat does remind me of Frosthaven, and then the adventuring parts kind of remind me of Sleeping Gods. But again, this is a lot simpler. So if you want to get into something like this, I think this is definitely something you could look into, because it is such a short amount of time, it's easy to bring to the table, and it's easy to explain to new people if you want to start a new campaign, if you so wish. So in general, I would say if you're looking for a simple adventure campaign combat game, then look into this game. It's really good. Well, Kinfire is a really good game. It's not going to be staying in our cupboard for long. And that mainly has to do with the complexity and the difficulty of game. For us, it's not complex enough to be interesting. It's not difficult enough to keep us engaged. So it's just not the game for us. One of the few things we absolutely do like about this game and would love to see in other games is, for example, this chit system is really fun. You basically go in and you dig up one of the chits and then you see what happens. And that keeps it really interesting and engaging and has a nice tactile feel to keep the game going. One of the other things I want to give an absolute shout out to is the quality of certain things, and that they have put so much time and effort into, including the book, the map, the box is absolutely gorgeous, and some of the components that you sort of get throughout the game. I'm not going to show them, I'm going to show them quickly and not spoil too much, but the quality of those things is so well done, so thought of, so that's really good. So if you're looking for a good quality adventure / campaign exploration combat game, then this is excellent for you if you're looking for a simple game. Unfortunately for us, that's just not what we're looking for. Kinfire works well at pretty much every player count. If you play solo, you get 2 seekers. If you play with 2 of you, you can either choose to take 2 seekers as in 1 each, or you can choose to take 2 seekers as in 4 total and have 2 each. I would recommend this game as a 2 people and with 1 seeker each, so having 2 seekers in total. This has to do with the amount of chits that are in the bag. You are more likely to have a turn, and you are more likely to be able to do what you want with that turn. Because the characters sort of sometimes need to sort of build up, and the likelihood of being able to do what you wanted is a lot higher with 2 players than it is with more, because there are basically more players who can get in your way. Now, this is very different than some other games, which are better with more characters because your characters can specialize more. But in this game, it's kind of the other way around, which is kind of refreshing, actually. In general, I would say this works extremely well with 2 players and 2 seekers in total, but it is certainly doable with more characters. And that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching our review of Kinfire Chronicles, Night's Fall. If you want to see another one of my videos, click up here. If you have any comments, feedback or suggestions, put them in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you next time on 2 Player Quest.